Welcome to Lineups and Lures. Join hosts Joe and Chris as they break down the biggest stories in professional and amateur sports and reel in the best fishing stories and tips. Whether it's game day strategy or the perfect catch, we've got you covered. Grab your gear and get ready. This is Lineups and Lures. Week 3 of the NFL season did not disappoint, unless you're a special teams or a kicker. That was a rough weekend for special teams all throughout the league.
That was just crazy. I mean, I'm sure there are a lot of people watching a lot of film trying to figure out what went on. At this level of football, that should not happen, but it did. So I'm sure there was a lot of guys in the film room solving that, but other than that, there's a lot of big stories from last week. So let's run through it and see what comes up here.
Yeah, so first up, Browns beat the Packers, which is that potentially the upset of the entire season? Because that Browns team, I mean, they had nothing going and then put up 13 in just a couple of minutes there in the fourth quarter to come back and win that game.
Yeah, no, that's one of those ones where the Browns still may have one of the best defenses in football, and because they're so bad on offense, nobody listens to them. I mean, we talked about it, and I mentioned earlier that they're going to beat a game. They're going to win a game or two they shouldn't win, and this was one of them. And that's the NFL. I mean, every year you go back through the schedule and you go look at a game or two from a team, and you go, that shouldn't have happened. Well, this was one of those games, and I'm not low on Green Bay all of a sudden. I'm not high on Cleveland. I just think it's a division game. Not a division game, but that's been a long time rivalry there. That's football. It's going to happen once in a while.
Yeah, it happens.
Ball bounce is funny some days.
Yep. Colts-Titans. Colts kind of took care of business. Jonathan Taylor just keeps running and running and running. That's a good football team.
The biggest storyline here is Indianapolis for real?
It sure seems that way. I mean, they're putting up points. They're taking care of the football. As long as Daniel Jones doesn't have turnovers, that's a really good football team. And with Houston being as bad as they are, they could run away with that division real fast.
Yeah, it's sure looking that way, isn't it? I'm liking what I'm seeing there in Indy. And at this point, you've got to give them the nod for the division. So becoming a bigger Daniel Jones fan by the minute. Not surprised that Jonathan Taylor ran for 150 yards or whatever he did. It's not the first time he's done that, and it won't be the last time. So, making up a good football team there. They run the football, or efficient on offense, and play a little defense. You can win a lot of football games that way. So, let's continue to watch the Colts, but they're a team with an upward trajectory right now.
Yeah, and it's a fun team to watch. You always like seeing guys like Daniel Jones getting his second opportunity and making the most of it. So it's good to see. One of my most disappointing games was the Bengals-Vikings, and just the absolute demolishing of the Bengals, all due to Isaiah Rodgers. I mean, the guy had 2 defensive touchdowns, forced 3 turnovers. Talk about having a game on defense.
Well,
that's incredible.
That's not the reason. The reason is there was a certain guy not playing quarterback for the Cincinnati Bengals. That's the real reason. None of that would have happened if he was playing quarterback. But Cincinnati has got problems here because they pushed all their chips in the middle to win a Super Bowl this year. They paid Higgins. They paid Jamar. Obviously, Joe Burr's getting paid 55, 60, whatever he's getting paid. They paid the defensive end. There's no more money left. And if the quarterback isn't healthy, it really doesn't matter who else you're paying, because in this league, unless you have a top 8, 10 quarterback in the league, it doesn't matter about the rest of the roster. Now, they've got one, but if he's not healthy, all that other money is getting wasted. And, man, wouldn't want to be that GM and that owner, because I don't necessarily think they did anything wrong. But sometimes sports isn't fair, and this one is one of those ones. I don't think Minnesota's that good, and I don't think Cincinnati's that bad. But until they have their quarterback back, that's going to be a long year.
I mean, their quarterback did have 2 interceptions, but it's pretty hard to win a football game when you fumble 5 times and lose 3 of those 5. I mean, it's just it was a collective effort. I'm not going to put that all and say, oh, that's because Burrow wasn't there because, Burrow can throw the ball to those wide receivers or hand it off to the running back, and they can fumble it no matter who they're getting it from. So it was just a bad game. Maybe just shut that one down, put it away, never talk about it again, and move on to the next week, or else this is just going to keep snowballing for the Bengals. It's going to be tough.
Yeah, and the other thing to remember is that, the NFL is brutal. It happens so quick, and everybody wants to talk about, well, you can make it up, but you start getting too far behind the 8 ball, it's pretty hard to start catching those teams. And, you can't get too far back. Otherwise, you just never catch up.
Yeah. Well, hopefully they can just stay into it. I mean, they're 2-1 right now, so they're not out of it by any stretch.
All right. Sorry, that was the National Weather Service. I couldn't prevent that one.
Yeah, it sounded like it. So you're in Arizona right now. You just got done watching the Seahawks game. So what's going on now? You got another sandstorm, thunderstorm warning? What is it?
No, now we have flood watch.
Flood watch. Oh, you're about to get dumped on.
Oh, it's been dumping all day.
Yeah, Arizona weather, it can be wild out there.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. So, anyway, that happened on live broadcasting there. That was the weather watch from the National Weather Service. So,
nice. Well, stay inside. Stay inside. Steelers, Patriots. Steelers took care of business.
Yeah, it looks like the Patriots aren't quite there yet. I don't think either team is going to make a deep run, so who cares? But, Patriots 1-2, Buffalo 3-0 already in that division. They might be too far back already.
Yep. The game that I was really hoping was going to be the game of the weekend was the Rams-Eagles. And that was a really good game until the Rams just kind of stopped scoring there, and the Eagles put up 26 points in the second half, which 6 of those were the end of the game, blocking the field goal stuff. But that's a pretty impressive effort by the Eagles to come back and close out that game.
It's a very impressive effort by the Rams too. I mean, let's be honest here. I mean, LA went across the country and should have beaten Philly. So that's a really good LA team. That's a really good Philly team. Say what you want about the end of that game, and that was obviously another blocked field goal situation. Because remember, if that field goal goes through, the Rams are getting on the plane, having some champagne on the way back to LA. So that was one where Philly dodged a bullet and, quite frankly, stole one. And LA just kind of, I'm not going to say choked because it's one game, but yeah, they kind of just dropped the ball there, literally in the fourth quarter. But I'm not sleeping on any one of those teams. I expect them to be around in January making noise, obviously, if quarterbacks are healthy. So good football games. It happens, it happens when you get up by 2.5 scores, and you don't want to get beat deep, and you kind of let them dink and dunk the ball down, and before you know it, it's a 1-score game, and, well, that's what happened.
Yeah, 2 blocked field goals don't help either.
No, especially when it's one thing to miss one, but if they block it and now you're transitioning field position or points, tough.
Not good. Buccaneers survived a late rally from the Jets. Baker Mayfield leading an undefeated Tampa Bay team. Are we surprised they're 3-0? He is your boy. Yes.
No, I'm not. Not in that division. I'm not surprised at all. I think people have been sleeping on Baker for years, and I think he is a flat first-line NFL quarterback. I am not taking him over Matthew Stafford, Patrick Mahomes, and a couple of Josh Allen. But I got to tell you, he is right on that next level, right underneath him, and he can throw the rock. They won that game despite losing their all-everything receiver, Mike Evans, during the game. There's a guy that I believe has gone for, 10 touchdowns and 1,000 yards, 8 seasons in a row?
Yeah, it's pretty incredible. It's consistency.
Yeah, so, and then you got to remember Godwin was already on the bench hurt. So the fact that when you take 2 weapons away and you can still win a football game, I think Godwin is a maybe this week. And if not, the following week he should be good to go. Look, they're not going to go 17-0, but I fully expect them to be at the upper echelon of the NFC, and they're going to make some noise. So, yeah, nothing unexpected there. New York Jets, dumpster fire, nothing more to talk about there.
Yeah, but what a great first-round pick in Igbuka. I mean, that guy is putting up some numbers, and with all those injuries happening around him, having that first-rounder there, giving Baker somebody to throw to has been really good for him. So good to see that. And you know, he's from the Northwest. He's a Washington guy. Went to Ohio State, but grew up in the Northwest. I knew you were going
to bring that up. So, I know you like to get your little plugs in when you can.
You do. I did. He's not a UW guy, but he's definitely a Northwest guy. So we'll take it.
Yeah. Hey, their front office gets paid too, right? So they made a good pickup there, and it worked out well with the personnel situation. And like I said, can you imagine all three of those guys plus their tight end running around? Baker's got no excuse not to be scoring, 30, 35 points a game.
Yeah, no, that's a scary team second half of the season if everyone's healthy. So moving on to Washington versus the Raiders, Marcus Mariota, man, that guy, he can fill in as a backup pretty darn well.
That's what you get when you get veteran leaders in there. And, I still think maybe if a different situation somewhere along the way came along, maybe Marcus would have been a starter in this league for a little bit longer. I think at this point, unless there is someone's going to have to come knocking, or he's going to need to get a shot somewhere. It's obviously not in Washington. There's definitely no quarterback controversy. That was just an injury situation. But I think that also goes to show you why having a capable backup and a veteran quarterback is a big difference for teams that are expected to compete in January. This was a situation where the Commanders could have easily dropped one they shouldn't have. Instead, they trust their defense. They still scored plenty of points. Their opponent wasn't great, but in the NFL, it doesn't take much for someone to beat somebody else. So this was Washington doing everything right, and a team that is headed for the playoffs should look like. So they handled their business, and the Raiders, unfortunately, I think they're a team headed in the right direction with better general manager, better coaching staff, but there's a lot of sins to fix on that football team and that franchise. It's going to take a while.
Yeah, it's going to take a while, but it's great to see Mariota playing well. And, I don't think there's anything wrong with being a career backup guy. I mean, he had his chance to start. He played pretty well in multiple opportunities. And now he's coming in and he's just the backup. I mean, I think we're going to see Marcus has a great advertising thing here. He's going to be that next guy in the Progressive commercials for the backup.
Well, hey, man, I mean, if someone's going to throw you a check, take the check. So, I'm a capitalist. I got no problem with that. And although I think he's made himself a pretty nice little living in the NFL, I don't think he needs that paycheck. But anyway, yeah, no, good for him. Washington, did what they needed to do at home, and Las Vegas, it's going to be a bumpy ride for the Raiders this year.
Yeah, Falcons absolutely dismantled and shut out by Carolina. Did not see that coming at all.
This one's the shocker, right? This is the one where, you told me before that game, I've got Atlanta kind of holding serve on that pretty easily. Instead, they just get absolutely throttled by Carolina. And, Atlanta was a football team that I thought was like a potential wild card. And I know it's early. I'm certainly not going to rule them out, but that's hard. I mean, that's people getting fired hard.
Yeah, let's just think that hope for them, for their sake, that we're going to Carolina. We should be able to whoop on this team. They're not very good. They don't win very much. Maybe there was a little bit of unfocus and, they just kind of got punched in the face in that first quarter, second quarter, and just really never really got it going. And maybe hopefully it's an anomaly because that Falcons team is a lot better than the way they showed.
Yeah, because the funny thing is that, it's not like Carolina went and threw the ball all around the yard. I mean, Bryce Young only had 129 yards, or 120 yards, excuse me. I mean, yeah, they ran the ball okay, but man, yeah, interesting.
Yeah, turnovers will kill you, though.
Yeah, it happens every time.
Yep.
So,
Texans, Jaguars.
uh,
And why are the Texans
uh,
0-3? Like, we could spend a whole hour on this. I don't know what's going on there, but it's not a good situation offensively, defensively. It's going to be a rough season in Houston because 0-3, you're
well,
probably not making the playoffs.
no, you don't. And now you sit there and go, do you start selling before the deadline, trying to pick up some draft pieces? It's tough to watch all the games. So I haven't focused a lot. I don't know if is it the quarterback? Is it, what's going on there? But yeah, I don't know. That's a tough situation. And, from a team that 2 years ago was, getting towards the higher echelon of the AFC and now an also run, man, that's tough.
Yeah, that was a tough one, but good for the Jaguars picking up a win. So Trevor Lawrence is starting to look a little bit better, starting to settle in, put up some decent numbers. But yeah, that Texans team is just a train wreck. Hard to watch.
Yeah, real hard to watch. So, okay.
Broncos, Chargers. Are the Chargers going to win their division?
Yes.
I think they might. They might be the best team in that division.
I've been saying that from Jump Street. So I like the Chargers in the AFC. I think they are, and I've been on record on that from Jump Street that this could be their year. Look, they won a division game, and I don't care what anybody says. Division games are always brutal. The tape, the tendencies, you play the guys twice every year. Everybody knows what's going on. And, yeah, so, look, they won a division game. They're doing everything they need to do. Sitting at 3-0 on top of the AFC West. I mean, I would pay a lot of money to see Justin Herbert play Josh Allen in late January. I don't know about you.
No, I can see that game happening. So it's good to see them playing well. Good to see Herbert playing well and healthy. So that's always good. Bears.
Yeah, 1,000.
Bears took care of business with the Cowboys. That game wasn't even competitive.
Yeah, that's a funny one there. I don't know on that one. I mean, who knows? Is Dallas that bad? Is Chicago? I mean, Dallas is that bad. Chicago, look, there's some signs of life. They've got some talent there. I mean, Caleb should start to be making the turn. Seems like him and Odunze have got some rapport. I mean, they got a running back. I mean, it's not an incomplete football team. It just, unfortunately, they play in the same division as the Packers and the Lions right now, and that leaves them as third best in the division.
Yeah, I think obviously the Cowboys are on the decline, but I think what you saw in that game was the potential of a Caleb Williams, Ben Johnson offense. I mean, they put up some good numbers. Caleb threw for 4 touchdowns. They ran the ball pretty decently. It was good to see, and hopefully that kind of keeps evolving. I think they're a year away from being a true playoff contender, but they seem to be going in the right way. And Ben Johnson he's looking like the next really good head coach. I'm not gonna say great.
Well,
I'm not saying great, but that team is trending the right way.
Corso would say, not so fast, my friend. It's way too early for me to agree with those statements. I still don't think the Bears are anything to look at, and Ben Johnson's got a lot more to do before we can start putting him in the Sean McVay territory. So,
yeah, but let's just talk. And I know you're a Caleb Williams hater, but look at how much better Caleb Williams is this year than he was last year. Look how much better their offense is this year than it was last year. You're seeing the Ben Johnson effect there. So
let's give it. Let's see if they can beat a couple games above 500, and then we'll talk about that. But
yeah,
until they do it,
we'll revisit that one.
Okay.
All right. 49ers sneak away with a win against Arizona. Was really hoping Arizona would pull that one off, but San Francisco just keeps finding a way to win. But man, that Bosa injury, that might be the nail in the coffin. Maybe. Let's hope.
Yeah, that's something, and look, as much as it benefits us being Seattle fans, we still want to beat the best.
Yeah, absolutely.
No one wants to go out and beat the number twos. Like you don't want that to be an asterisk next to something down the line. So, Look, at the end of the day, that's just a good franchise. It's a good program. It's well coached. It's well managed. They've got a bit of the injury bug. If they can, at the end of the day, they're sitting at 3-0 with all the injuries they've had. So the reality is they're going to get the opportunity to drop one or two along the way and still be okay.
Chiefs-Giants, Sunday Night Football game. Chiefs went in and took care of business, took care of Russell Wilson, got their first win on the board. What a mess. What a mess in New York.
All right, I'm going to do it. I'm going to say right now the New York Giants football franchise is screwed for another decade. They have laid on the panic button, just like I said they would. Joe Shine and Diebold, the head coach, are feeling the pressure, and they're going to ruin their young quarterback. They are going to ruin him. Watch it unfold. And I don't want anything but the best for Jackson Dart. This is the stupidest decision I've seen in the NFL in a long time.
I can't disagree with you after watching Russell Wilson throw a fourth down at the goal line pass uncatchable over the goalpost.
Yeah, if you get picked there, you get picked, but
yeah,
at
you
least
can't
give him
do
a
that.
shot.
What I will say, though, is when Jackson Dart came into that game and ran that read option, he actually looked pretty good. Definitely gave him a much better chance of moving the football, I thought, than Russ did, especially with his legs. So I agree. Like, we both believe that quarterbacks should sit for at least a year. I think they should be at least half a year before they get thrown into the mix. But what was happening there is not good.
This is just a bad football franchise. Like, they press the panic buttons. They do things wrong. They were on Hard Knocks telling everybody, "Oh, we didn't draft Daniel Jones. We didn't play Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones is 3-0 right now." Was it him or was it you guys?
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, that if this doesn't work out by the end of this year, I think you're going to see, I hope you see, a mass exodus of GM, coach, assistant GM. Like, that ownership needs to go in and just clean house and get rid of everybody and start completely over, because everybody that's in place right now is just not getting it done, making just bad decisions.
Yeah, no, there's bonehead moves going on all the way around that. So, yeah, brother, I want nothing but the best from Jackson Dart. Quite frankly, I was on record saying that I wanted to draft him with Seattle. So I like the kid. I just don't like to see a kid getting put into a lose-lose situation. I'm going to leave it at that for today, and hopefully I am wrong. I really hope I'm wrong. I really do, because I want the kid to succeed. I just don't think that I am.
No, it's going to be a rough year for the Giants. All right, let's finish up with, what I think everybody was thinking is a Super Bowl preview. And after watching that football game, I would love to see that again in February. Lions-Ravens. That was a great football game.
Good football game. That's what that was. That's two powerhouses going toe-to-toe. And, you play that game 10 times, it's probably 6-4, one way or the other, right? That's just a good football game.
Yeah, 21-21 after 3. Just a good football game, good game to watch. And I think you kind of come out of that, and the only real thing I got to talk about is what's going on with Derrick Henry and the fumbles. 3 games, 3 fumbles. At some point, that probably starts creeping into your head as you're hitting a hole going, don't fumble, don't fumble, don't fumble. So hate to see a player of his caliber having that issue right now. Hopefully that gets cleaned up pretty quick.
Yeah, he's been around the league long enough where I think that'll take care of itself. But I want to give you an interesting statistic in the AFC North, which I think will boggle your mind.
Okay.
So the Bengals are 2-1, the Pittsburgh Steelers are 2-1, Baltimore's 1-2, Cleveland's 1-2. Over 3 games, here are the total points scored for the Bengals: 58. Pittsburgh, 72. Cleveland, 46. Baltimore Ravens have scored 111 points.
Isn't that crazy?
So my thing is, they have just had a banger of a schedule. I think they have nothing to worry about at all. I think they'll be fine. They'll end up at 12-5 or whatever they need to be and slide right into the playoffs. I have nowhere near having any issues with the Ravens. Sometimes you just get a 2-3 week portion of the schedule where you got to play the number one seed from all the other divisions, and it's just tough. I mean, what if they played Buffalo, Detroit, and who was the other one they played? Pittsburgh?
Yeah, it was not. It's been a very unforgiving start to the season. So it's good. They're going to be just fine.
They're going to be just fine. So anyway.
Yeah. But finishing up with the Seahawks, not a lot to talk about here other than we looked great on defense. We looked great on offense. And our special teams is looking good too. That Torrey Horton guy, seems to be turning into a pretty good football player.
Yeah, no, as they like to say, they dominated in all three phases. They needed that one. They needed to go and play up at home and just go and have somebody come in and absolutely roll them. Just old school, come in, punch him in the mouth. The crowd gets crazy. And that's what it used to be like in the, Super Bowl era, in the Matt Hasselbeck era. When they went on those runs, nobody came into town and disrespected us on our own field. And that was good defense, got turnovers, punched him in the mouth, and that place is rocking, highly needed. Not going to sit there and anoint the Seahawks. So, they got to beat someone other than the Saints. But, hey, sometimes you just need a good get-right game, right?
Yeah, it was good. I mean, 21 in the first, up 38-6 at half. I mean, they talked about it last night on the Thursday night game about how the Seahawks in the Russell Wilson, Pete Carroll era never got primetime games. Didn't get the Thursday night games, didn't get Sunday night, didn't get Monday night because it was always a blowout by halftime. And bad for ratings, bad for everything. So it was kind of fun to see one of those games where we just came out, just took control of the entire game by the end of the first quarter. That one was over. Everybody knew it was over. So it's good to see. And good energy in the stadium, a good win. Step up your game at Portland Baseball Club. Whether you're a beginner looking to learn the fundamentals or an experienced player ready to take your skills to the next level, our expert coaches are here to help you succeed. Our training programs focus on developing key skills such as hitting, pitching, fielding, and game strategy through personalized instruction and hands-on drills. Join us for specialized clinics, one-on-one coaching, group training sessions, and year-round tournament teams tailored to all skills and age levels. With state-of-the-art facilities and a supportive environment, you'll gain the confidence and expertise to excel on the field. Don't miss your chance to become a part of Portland's premier baseball community and elevate your game today. Learn more at portlandbaseballclub.com and see how we inform, instruct, and inspire the next generation of athletes. Week 4 of the NFL season is here, and we've already had our first game, and you were down in Arizona, Glendale, and got to watch the Seahawks-Cardinal game. So what first-person view, what'd you think of the game?
Just really quickly, it was a great place to watch a football game. They really know how to get people in and out of a stadium in Arizona. The freeways are a little easier than Seattle's, let me tell you. The parking's a little easier. But I think this is a game that is closer on paper than it was in the stadium. Really, if Myers doesn't miss that field goal, that the air gets taken out of that football, and it's 23-13, and looks like a pretty comfortable win. At the end of the day, a few things I love Seattle in the first half. I think they just got a little conservative with the play calling, which is not. I mean, everybody does it when you start sitting on a lead. The end of the day, they went on the road on Thursday night on a short week and won a division football game. That's huge. They're sitting at 3-1, cruising.
Yeah, a win is a win. That's what I thought after the game was we'll take it however we can get it. We went into Arizona, which is not an easy place to play. Like, it was fairly loud in there, and, I mean, what was it, 102 degrees outside, which I know it's an air-conditioned building, but still, being in that heat all day, it definitely takes a toll on you. So it was good to see them come in, get a win, definitely closer than it should have been. But at the same time, like, it's always good to have one of these early season coming down to the last kick games just to give your team a little bit of confidence. And, let's say this happens in December, January. Well, we've been there, we've done that. So we know we can win. We know we can finish a game. So good experience all around. A win's a win.
Well, I think what's very important to think about is most NFL coaches, when they look at the schedule, they break the season up into 4 blocks of 4, right? Okay, now I got that 17th game, but you understand where I'm going here, right? So it was always like there's 4 quarters in an NFL season. Let's try to go 3-1, no worse than 2-2 in every quarter. Because if you don't lose a quarter, you're going to make the playoffs, right?
Yep.
3-1 at the end of the first quarter. Really had a game in hand. We lost that one to San Francisco that we very well could have won. But at the end of the day, 3 wins on the trot. We won the first quarter. Love what I'm seeing with this football team right now.
Yeah, we're in a good spot. Excited for the rest of the season. So, and we came out of it healthy.
And the other thing is, so the Seattle point differential is already plus 44.
Nice.
We have scored 44 more points than we've given up already. So that is amazing.
Yeah, let's keep that going for sure. Because you're going to need to if you end up with Baltimore in the Super Bowl. Clearly, they're going to be putting up some points.
The Eagles are 3-0, and their point differential is only 14 points.
Yeah.
So, like what I'm seeing in Seattle.
Yeah, no, it's good stuff. So let's move on, do a quick preview for each game. So we got our first international game of the year in Dublin, Ireland, the Vikings and the Steelers. I think the Steelers take care of business here. I'm not sure that the Vikings and their backup quarterback are going to do it 2 weeks in a row. But
Minnesota's got Wentz, don't they?
They do, but I still think I'd take Aaron Rodgers over Wentz. And they demolished the Bengals last week, but you're not going to probably have that many turnovers and have one defensive player score 2 touchdowns and a couple fumble recoveries. I mean, he played out of his mind, and I don't see that happening again. I think Steelers are going to take care of business.
Yeah, no, fair enough. I can live with that.
Yep. Commanders Falcons. I would have been really excited for this game if it wasn't for last week with the way the Falcons played.
Tough one, right? I mean, when you sit there and you go, Vegas is only calling it 2.5. It's like, well, really? You would think that line, even on the road, would be significantly higher. I'm going to have to stick with Washington until Atlanta can show me that was just an accident.
Yeah, I agree. I think there's a chance Jaden Daniels is back, but if I'm Washington, I probably hold him out one more game, let Mariota run the show, and see if we can't take care of the Falcons. But the Falcons, that could be a tough one at home. You never know.
They laid a goose egg last week. We'll need to see about that one. But no, I like Washington that one, even with the points.
Yep. Bills Saints, not a lot to talk about here. This one will be over by halftime. Bills take care of business.
Josh Allen should just go play golf for the weekend.
Yeah, that'd keep him healthy.
16.5 points. God, you got to take the Saints to cover, though, don't you? 16.5?
Yeah, I mean, you figure the starters are resting for the second half, so there's a good chance they might throw up some garbage time points. You never know.
Yeah, that's a snoozer. We don't need to spend a lot of time on that one.
Nope. Browns, Lions. I think the Lions keep going. They looked pretty good last week.
Cleveland ain't going to have that defense 2 weeks in a row. I think Detroit at home takes care of business.
Yep. Panthers, Patriots. This is a game I could care less about, but I think it could be a really close, even game.
I think it could be a close game. I think it could be a boring, sloppy game.
Yes. I agree.
I'll take Carolina. They seem to be rolling here. Once again, I won't be spending a whole lot of time watching this football game.
No, I think maybe
I don't believe I even have any fantasy implications in that one. So, yeah, that'll be who cares.
Yeah, I think the Patriots maybe pull one out at home. Just depends on which Panthers show up. If it's last week's Panthers that shut out the Falcons, then hey, they got a chance of beating anybody. But
right.
I think the Patriots at home, I think they're gonna probably get healthy. And, Drake May's actually been playing some pretty good quarterbacks. So that's not a bad football team, but I'm just not sure which of those two are better this early in the season. So I'm going to take the Patriots at home.
All right.
Chargers, Giants. Chargers are going to dominate this game.
Yeah, and I got to tell you, Justin Herbert's an old first-round draft pick that had to take a few licks the first couple of seasons he was playing. If you think he's going to go in there and take it easy on Jackson Dart, you got to be very misunderstood. I think he's going to go in there and try to throw for 5 touchdowns and go, that's why I'm 7 years in the league, bro. And, I think this could get ugly quickly.
Well, and I think it's with any sport. When you go play in New York, you are always trying to put up your best numbers and, put on a show because it's New York, which, hey, I know he plays in LA and it's kind of the same deal for the East Coast guys going west, but you always want to put up a good showing in New York. So I think Justin Herbert has just kind of a monster game, and the only thing that holds him back from having a monster game is if they get up really big and he's not playing too much in the second half or they're just running the football. Yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised if the running game gets going there too. So that's a balanced football team. That's a good football team. They're balanced. They can do it either in the air or on the ground. So, and they have good defense. That's why they're at the top end of the AFC. So I think we're wasting our time here. I think the Chargers walk in there and put a whooping on them.
Yep. A very, very good football game. 2 3-0 teams. You got the Eagles in Tampa Bay. This could be game of the weekend right here.
Yeah, this is a banger. The only thing that Evans is out, and I still don't know if Godwin has been confirmed to play. That's, you can't take both of those guys out of that lineup. That's tough. That's 2 veteran Pro Bowl receivers right there. You can make up with one of them with the rookie, but so I think that's a big, if Godwin plays, and even if he does play, how available is he really after that horrible injury he had to end the season last year? So I like Philly based on and Tampa's offensive line is still banged up. So I like Philly in this game based on the injuries, but I'd like to see this game again in January with 2 healthy football teams.
Yep, I agree. I think Philly comes in, takes care of business just due to those injuries, but I think it's still going to be a close game. I think the fourth quarter decides this one.
Okay.
2 0-3 teams, Titans, Texans. I feel like this is Houston's best chance to get in the win column here, but I'm not sure.
10 years ago, this might have been the AFC Championship game. That's the funny thing. I'm looking at this. This is just bad football. I mean, Houston should win this game, but yeah, Houston's got to win this game to even have a chance in the season. So, look, Tennessee doesn't have any pressure. I mean, they got the rookie quarterback, the rookie everything. Then there's no expectations. They're going to try to steal a couple of games down the line. I think Houston's got to win this one at home, or there might start being some talk of some people finding employment elsewhere.
Yeah, this is a must-win for Houston.
Yeah, to have any shot at all, they got to get on the board and see if they can't right that ship. So, yeah, I think Houston takes care of business at home.
Yeah. Colts-Rams. This was a game I did not have circled at the beginning of the season, but this is a good one. I'd love to see Indy go into L.A. and beat the Rams.
Yeah, this wasn't on your dance card at the beginning of the season, and all of a sudden it's like, this is actually a pretty good football game. Look, I like everything Indy's doing. Matt Stafford is not going to be real happy about what happened in Philly last week. Sean McVay is not going to be real happy about what happened in Philly last week. That is a veteran team, veteran roster, first class team, program, franchise. I think there's a little piss and vinegar in that locker room, and I think Indy might just cop up. I think they're catching the Rams on the wrong week, if that's what I'm telling you.
Yeah, I would agree. I'd love to see the Colts win. I'd love to see the Rams fall to 2-2, but I think that's a very motivated team, and I think McVay and that defense is going to, they're going to have a little game plan for Daniel Jones and see if they can, take him back a peg or two to kind of how he used to play versus how he's playing now. So I'll take the Rams at home.
Yeah.
49ers, Jaguars. Looks like Purdy is going to be playing this week. So, unfortunately, I think I got to take the 49ers in this one at home. Jacksonville coming across the country. That's always tough.
So there is a little bit of an upset alert here for me, just based on the Jacksonville hasn't been that bad, number one. And number two, I mean, the 49ers just keep losing dude after dude after dude. And at some point, there's a reason those guys get paid what they get paid, and the guy behind them gets paid significantly less. That's not an accident. So, I mean, the safe bet is to take San Francisco at home, but I've got a little asterisk on this one. There could be there's an upset alert brewing in San Francisco this weekend.
Yeah. Oh, I agree. Definitely. We'll see what happens. Let's see. Next one up, we got Ravens Chiefs in Kansas City. A battle of 1-2 football teams.
Well, I think the Kansas City Chiefs are going to find themselves in some very unfamiliar territory at about 5 o'clock on Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, you think the Ravens come in and take care of business?
I think they come in and handily take care of business. I will bet that game on Baltimore.
Okay.
Kansas City Chiefs are not what they were, and that's just the real thing. And Baltimore, lost a rough game last weekend. They don't want to get too far back in the division. This is a big football game. I mean, this would be Sunday Night Football if it wasn't because they haven't flexed them yet. But yeah, no, this is a great football game. I think it's got the makings of a very good game. I just believe that Baltimore might just come in there and lay the whoop.
Yeah,
just on a hunch.
The only thing for the Chiefs is they do have Worthy coming back this week, so I think that'll help. But yeah, I'm not sure that they have the offensive firepower to keep up with the Ravens and their 40 points per game average. So yeah, I see the Ravens taking care of it.
It's one thing to have a guy coming back, but for a guy that hasn't even seen a live snap yet this year, that's the difference. It's not like he missed a week. He hasn't played yet. So yeah. I wouldn't expect a lot of production out of him week one. Of course, watch this happen where the very first play from scrimmage, he goes 75 yards down the field for a touchdown. But, yeah, no, I like Baltimore.
Yep. Bears, Raiders in Vegas.
I like the Raiders at home, to be honest.
Yeah, I'd like to see the Bears keep on their trajectory and take care of the Raiders at home.
Until Chicago proves that they can go on the road and beat somebody, I'm going to take the home team.
Yep. That one can go either way.
They got to earn it. When they start earning it, but they haven't earned it yet. So Raiders at home.
Yep. Sunday Night Football, we got Micah Parsons and the Packers against the Cowboys. I think the Packers are pretty motivated after last week's loss to Cleveland. And I think they're going to go in and do everything they can to whoop up on the Cowboys.
I mean, if Jerry Jones could fire himself, he might get fired as the general manager of the Cowboys after this weekend.
Well, especially if Parsons goes out and puts up like 2 or 3 sacks and just has a great game. I mean, that's going to be hard to watch.
Well, actually, that's not really the problem because I think Jerry actually made the right decision there. He's in cap purgatory. He needs to reload. And you can't reload with those kind of contracts. So he got 2 first-round draft picks and a contributing player. I think he did the right thing. I wouldn't be surprised to see a few more people from the Cowboys end up somewhere else, stockpile draft picks, and try to restart this thing next year.
Yeah. I don't give the Cowboys much of a chance. Plus, is CD even playing? I mean, they got some injuries, so Dak's been playing really well this year, but that's a Super Bowl contending team, and the Cowboys are probably playing for a top 5 overall draft pick this year.
Yeah, no, Dallas bounces back. Green Bay bounces back over Dallas.
Yep. All right, Monday night, we got another of those famous doubles. First one is a very exciting game. We got the Jets and the Dolphins.
Let's not even give him the airtime. Who cares?
Well, Dolphins are going to win that one, so we'll just move on.
Fine. Let's go to the next one.
Bengals, Broncos.
Well, Denver needs to win this football game.
So does Cincinnati.
Cincinnati ain't winning this football game.
But they need to.
Yeah, but they're done. They are done.
They're not done.
They're done.
They're close.
The only thing they ain't done is that they got to go pick up the telephone and call Atlanta and go and get Kirk Cousins now.
Well, Kirk Cousins played last week, so I'm not sure they're really, unless that was an audition, I'm not sure they're really looking to get rid of him still.
Well, anyway, I think Denver kind of rolls this one really good, and they need to, because they're 1-2 in the division. They can't afford to. You can't. I mean, if they lost, put it this way: if they lose again and Kansas City loses again and the Chargers win, they already own a 3-game lead in the division after week 4.
Yeah, good luck coming back from that.
Good luck coming back from that unless Justin Herbert gets hurt. So this is a must-win for Denver. I think they have had a pretty rough schedule to start with. This is one that was a primetime game 2 weeks ago. I'm sorry, I just don't believe in Cincinnati's backup quarterback, and that's where I got the Broncos.
Yeah, I would say this is a must-win for both teams, but I do think that the Broncos are going to pull it out, but I'm hoping to see some signs of life and success out of that Bengals offense, and I just think if they don't turn the ball over as many times as they did last week, they'll have a chance, but must-win for both teams, but I think Denver at home pulls it out on Monday Night Football.
Hey there, I'm Chad with Jackson Painting and Remodel, and if you're looking to give your home a fresh new look, you've come to the right place. Whether you need a bold new color for your living room or a fresh coat to brighten up your home's exterior, my team and I have got you covered. We specialize in both indoor and outdoor painting, using only the best materials to make sure your space looks amazing and stands the test of time. If you're ready to transform your home, visit jacksonpainting.com. I'd love to come by, chat about your ideas, and give you a free estimate. At Jackson Painting and Remodel, we don't just paint, we make your vision a reality. Again, visit jacksonpainting.com or call 503-620-2600.
The mojo has returned to Seattle. The Mariners are the division champions for the first time since 2001. Did you ever think we'd see this again in our lifetime?
Do you want to know what's scary is that 2001 is the year I came to Portland.
Wow.
And that was the year they won 116 games. And I'm like, this being a Mariner fan is awesome.
Yeah. It's been a while.
It's been a hot minute, yeah. Look, there's been a lot of complaining and belly aching from me, you, the entire Pacific Northwest about the franchise and the owner and not spending money and not doing the right things. And at the trade deadline this year, they had no excuses. They were, for the most part, healthy. The GM opened up his checkbook, the owner gave the GM the ability to open up his checkbook, and they got the 2 best bats available in free agency. And they just happened to have, I believe, the most valuable player in Major League Baseball this season. If it's not going to happen, it's not going to happen after this year. This is one of those runs that you just got to milk it, and you got to finish the deal this year, because, like you said, there is something special going on, and it's getting to the point where it's no longer a secret. Other teams are aware of it. Seattle is not under the radar anymore. The entire Major League Baseball is turning around and going, what the hell is going on up there in the Pacific Northwest?
Yeah, they're not sneaking up on anybody. And I think the other good part about this year, compared to 2001 when we won 116 games, is, we had that wrapped up so early that games down the stretch didn't really matter. And you see it all the time that a team gets a big lead, cruise into the playoffs. They're not really ready for that ramped up intensity of the game. And you always see the wild card teams or the team that made that run in the last 2 weeks of the season to sneak into the playoffs. They always seem to do really well and make it pretty far. And I think that's one of the cool things about this year. And what I'm excited about is, even though we are going to have 5 days off, since we don't have to play in the wild card round, like, we've had to play meaningful baseball, really good baseball. We're on a streak, and it's been somebody different every night. So it's not like Julio's on this big hot streak, and if we take 5 days off, we're going to lose that. Like it's kind of a little bit of everybody. And it's just fun to see like a team rolling from 1 through 9, 1 through 5 in the starting pitchers. Like everybody's rolling. And the biggest part about missing out on and winning the divisional series is Brian Wu doesn't have to pitch again until the playoffs. So we're going to get all these starters that have been logging 6-7 innings a start. They're going to get some good breaks. They're going to be fully recovered. They're going to be ready to go for a 5-game series, which is going to be exciting to see everybody lined up and healthy and rested, ready to go.
Yeah, I think, I think the point in this season, there was that nice 9-10 winning streak, but then we kind of dropped a bunch. The series that altered this season was the Houston Astros 3-game sweep. That was the one that I think it gave the belief in the clubhouse. For the first time in 10, 15 years, we got one over on the Astros, and they've just been our kryptonite. I really do believe that was the turning point. Going into Houston and basically, sticking it where the sun don't shine and just absolutely pouring it onto them was the turning point. And I think that is, if you look back, that's going to be where the team was like, hey, I think we got a shot here.
Oh, I agree. Yeah, that was it. I always go back to those 90s Chicago Bulls teams, and they could never get past the Pistons. Jordan could never beat him, couldn't beat him for years. And then all of a sudden he beats him, and it's like, all right, now it's our turn. And I feel like you kind of felt a passing of the torch going on, which obviously Houston had a lot of injuries. So it's not like we were playing their best team, but they were still in it to the end. And it's good to see us kind of get that monkey off our back and make the playoffs. And man, that place is going to be rocking. I'm excited.
So we're probably going to run with 3 starters. Is it Kirby, Gilbert, Wu? What do you do with Castillo, and what do you do with Bryce Miller?
I'm not ready to think about that. I'm still celebrating our divisional win. We got a whole week and a half.
Well, I mean, I think it's probably fair to say that I think Logan Gilbert is still probably the guy with the best stuff. Depending on Wu's health, maybe you go him too. And then again, I don't know, do you pitch the veteran Castillo just because he's a veteran? I mean, Dan's going to get paid a lot of money to make these decisions, and ultimately it's his pick.
Here's another way to think about it. Kirby and Gilbert both started the year on the injured list. They're 60 innings behind Wu and Castillo. They're fresher.
Right.
Does that play into it? You got a fresher arm? Is that a factor? I think so.
Yeah, I think it really becomes a factor going, I'm not trying to get ahead of ourselves here, but if you get into the 7-game set where the guy that goes day 1 may be able to go day 4 and day 7 if required, and that's where I think you got to put a Gilbert or a Kirby. Yes, Gilbert or a Kirby in that 1-2 hole, to where if there's if Johnny Holstoff's in the bullpen on Game 6 and Game 7, I think that's where you want those guys available. But we got to get through the first one first. But yeah.
Yeah, I think
this is where
you got to see how everything shakes out. You got to see who we match up with, and then I think you kind of play based on matchups. You can't do that till you know who you play.
Well, it's not like we have a left-handed starting pitcher, so it's going to be a righty no matter what.
Yeah, but there's different guys that have different stuff that plays better against righties, better against lefties. Are we playing in New York where the ball flies out to, do we want a ground ball guy versus a fly ball guy? There's a lot of park factors at play. What's Aaron Judge's career batting average and slugging percentage against each of the starters? I mean, there's a ton of analytics that are going to come into play here. So
right.
I'm going to leave it up to the people that are a lot smarter than me, but I'll definitely be analyzing it a lot closer once I have an idea of who we play and kind of how everything matches up there. But
So is it looking like it looks like we're at this point going to get either Cleveland or Detroit?
The winner of those two?
The loser of those two.
Well, we're going to get a wild
because
card.
we're going to get the bye. So it looks like, right now Toronto and New York are tied. Boston's in the wild card place. Cleveland and Detroit are going to be one of the wild cards. We're obviously guaranteed. Well, how many games have we got left? 3?
3.
Yeah, so neither Cleveland nor Detroit can catch us, so we are guaranteed the 2 seed.
Correct. Yeah, we are skipping the wild card. We go straight to the divisional series. So it's probably Boston, Detroit. Houston still in the mix. I mean,
No, Houston's done.
Are they done? I thought they were only one game back.
They're 2 games behind Boston, and they don't hold the tiebreaker.
Oh, okay. So you got Yankees right now as everything sits. It's either Yankees or Blue Jays, whoever ends up not winning the division. The Red Sox, and then probably the Tigers.
Well, I mean, you could say that after going 2-8, but they've got the same record as Cleveland. So, those two teams are fighting. And then you get to the National League, and you got quite a shit show going on here. So,
well, the Cubs.
Yeah.
The Cubs got a wild card spot. The Padres got a wild card spot. I think they're actually. Are they facing?
I think
off?
the Dodgers, the Brewers, and Phillies are all locked up. Yeah, the Phillies, the Brewers, and the Dodgers are all locked up, and the Dodgers are not getting the wild card. So I don't know if they're going to play against Seattle or not. I mean, they don't really need to.
No, I think they've locked it up. So they might be kind of getting their pitching set up for the rest of that. For the rest of the season.
So there's one more wild card spot left. So it looks like Cincinnati and Arizona are the last wild card spots left over there. But anyway.
Well, and the Mets. So you basically got the Cubs are in, the Padres are in, first 2 wild cards. And then you have the Mets, which have a 1-game lead over the Reds. And the Reds have a 1-game lead over the Diamondbacks for the 3rd wild card spot. So
right.
I would love to see Cincinnati overtake the Mets for that last wild card spot, but who knows what'll happen. There's 3 more days in the season, so at least this wild card brings us a little bit more excitement to how this ends. Enjoyed Lineups and Lures? Like, share, and rate the show to help us grow. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode. Thanks for listening, and catch you next time on Lineups and Lures.